was always going to the bookshop before I went to football training, and I was wearing sort of tracksuit pants, an old flannelette sort of shirt, and what we call a beanie, you know, like a woolen sort of hat. And I was always going there to the bookshop just to see if the book was on the shelf. It was being released early in April, and I was there every day having a look to see if the book was in the shop. And I was just sort of hanging around, you know, in the bookshop until finally the bookstore owner, she just finally kind of broke down in front of me and said, "You just got to tell me, what do you want?" And, I'm sure she thought I was staking the place out to rob it or whatever. And it was really funny. Then you get confronted with it, and I said, "Oh, I'm just looking for this book, a certain book." And she said, "Oh, what's it called?" And the book was called The Underdog. And I said, "Oh, it's called The Underdog." And she said, "Do you know the author? What's the name of the author?" And I was getting more and more nervous, and I just said, "Oh, he's got a really funny name. Yeah, it's like Zusak or something like that." And then she's looked it up on the computer, and she said, "Oh, no, it should be coming in soon. I'll let you know," or whatever. It should be in soon. So a few days later, I went in, and she saw me, and she said, "Oh, I've just had some books come in, and it might be in that lot of books." And so by then we were pretty good friends, you know, it's one of those things. And so she's invited, she said, "Come down, we'll have a look." And she had this little back room where she opened up, you know, all these boxes, and this book, it was bright red, and so you couldn't miss it. And she opened the box and she goes, "Oh, there it is, The Underdog." And she's reached in and she pulled out a book and she handed it back to me. She wasn't even looking, she just handed it back. And that was when I said to her, "Oh no, I don't want to buy it." And she turned around and she looked at me, and it was just one of the, I'm not even going to repeat to you what I think she was thinking. And then it was one of those things, there was a picture on the back of me, and she went, "Oh, yeah, I've heard about that there was a local guy who wrote a book," and she got her revenge because she said, let's do a book signing, let's have a launch of the book and all of this sort of thing. And of course my heart started to really sink because I was like, who's going to come to a book signing? I mean, I've got some family members, I've got, you know, and I'm thinking, what's going to happen? This is going to be terrible. I'm going to be in the bookshop, there's going to be nobody there, and you really get worried about those sort of situations. And I was really mulling it over for a really long time, and it was still back in the time where shops weren't always open, I guess. It was just sort of really coming in, and Thursday night was the night that shops stayed open longer, and that's when they were going to do the event. And that happened to be football training night. And so I thought, oh, what if we get the football team to come up to the bookshop? You know, it would guarantee at least 20 people in the bookshop. And so I mentioned it to one of my friends who was coaching the team with me, and that's what happened. The whole team ran up from the local football ground, Anzac Oval, and they all just came teeming into the shop. But the bookstore owner was really on the ball because she said, well, she didn't say anything. She figured out that what she would do, she had one big box full of books and another big box full of beer. And the football team, they just ran straight in, past the books, straight to the beer, right? And so they were really happy. And some of them even said, "Oh, can we come to the bookshop every Thursday night?" And that turned out to be my entrance into becoming a writer. And I sort of realised I wouldn't have it any other way. And because other than that, not many people came to the bookshop signing. But it's a good place to start, and you know, there's only a way up from there. And so